What's up, traders? Welcome to day 6 of the trading challenge. Today we're going to look at how to use the filters to optimize in any type of market. We're going to look at the filters right here, but most of the filters are going to be in the indicators section. So the RSI all the way to Bollinger Band number 11. You have filters. We're not going to look at all the filters because there's too many, but a lot of them come back over and over. So once you understand the process, you're going to understand how to use the whole thing. When I test filters, I first start by checking the signal option. So I see all the possible signals, and that gives me a better idea of what's filtered and what's not. Quickly in the safe filters, too big is if candles are really big and you want to remove them. One entry is going to give you only one entry per block of signals. What do we mean by block of signal? This is a block of signal from the long to the short, actually right here. This section was long, so if you hit a target anywhere or a stop loss anywhere in here, it's not going to take the other signal as an entry point. It's going to wait till it goes in another block. One filter that I really like is the minimum swing filter. It helps removing when the signals are at the same level. Let's say we put a 2% minimum swing. Back to 0. So as you can see, there's a lot of signals that are filtered because they were too close to each other. So it tends to remove signals when the market's moving sideways. The downside is that you might miss some of the first moves because it's going to have to get away from the previous signal before entering, but it's still going to remove a lot of noise from the sideways market. Safe oscillator, you can use them. It's going to help when the market's overextended. Then we'll go check the RSI and stochastics. This section L and S is for long and short. So if you don't want to go, let me first draw RSI that would go like this. For those that don't know an RSI, something like that. And the value go from 100 right here to 0 down here. You might not want to buy when it's at the top, and you might not want to sell when it's at the bottom, or you might not want to sell when it's under this level. So this is what that filter does. So you can decide the range for longs and short where the RSI is going to be valid. So let's go back to RSI. So if you don't want to go long when the RSI is under, let's say 20, then you put from 20 to 100, you're going to go long. If you don't want to go long when the RSI is too high, then you can set it to, let's say 80. As we see, it didn't filter much at all. So let's put it back to 100 and 0. It's the same thing for the stochastic at the bottom right here. So let's say you don't want to go long when the stochastic's under 40. You don't want to go short when the stochastic's above 60. And you see the difference. So let me zoom back out. Put it back to 0 and 100. 40 and 60. So it filters quite a bit of signals, especially in a trending market, as you see. The next filter is expand. So expand is a momentum filter. It's going to keep signals when the value are expanding, so getting away from each other. So most of the indicators have expand filters. So let's try the RSI expand. So back, here we go. You can add multiple filters like usual. So let's add the stochastic filters on top of it. So you see it removes even more. The next section is volume. There's 6 filters at the bottom right here. One that I like is the above 0 right here. It tends to filters quite a bit of signals. So on and off. I also like the volume above the moving average. That way you only get candles where there's a lot of action going on. So on and off. As you see, I turn back off every filter after checking what it does, because if I turn too many filters on, it's not going to show me the extent of the real filtering. So we'll come down to rate of change right here. And this filter is the same thing as above 0. But you can select a specific value for the rate of change. If the rate of change is close to 0, it might indicate a sideways market, whereas if the rate of change is higher, it might indicate more a trending market. First, we'll use it when the rate of change is above or below 0. Then let's check with the rate of change above 1 or under -1. You see it filters even more signals and really keep the trend going. So next there's ADX and DMI, and two filters I really like are the trend and weak filters at the bottom. So trend will help keep the trend a little longer. Doesn't remove that much, but it still helps. The filter weak will remove when the ADX is too weak. That will help with markets that are undecided. So off and on. And as usual, you can combine both of them just like this. So again, it's pretty easy to use and it will filter out some of the noise in the market. Then we have Mayer, OBV, and moving averages. Those are pretty similar to what we just saw. So we're going to skip to VWAP and Bollinger Bands, which are the two last with filters, and they're pretty similar. So let's plot one of the bands to understand what a Bollinger Band is in the first place. Okay, so now that we see that, so the filter expand in both VWAP and Bollinger Band, it's like earlier where the bands need to expand for you to enter a trade. So that means volatility will increase. Out of bands is that you don't want to enter a trade if the candle is out of the Bollinger Band, because that means you're overextended and you'd rather wait. So let me remove the bands so it's easier to see on the chart. Bollinger Band have a different filter, trending, tight, and bull bear. I like the trending filter as it filters out a lot of signals and it keeps the trend going. So on and off. Tight will filter out the bands when they're contracting, which might indicate a sideways market. Now that we've looked at all the filters, you can combine them together and filter even more. So let us know how you combine those filters together. Which are your favorite filters? Which one you use the most? Which ones you don't use at all? Do you have any filters suggestion? Let us know. We love the feedback. So that's it for day 6. We'll see you tomorrow for day 7, back testing. Bye.